I just want you to see impossible light activity that is present on my ceiling. Also pay attention to the shadow of the ceiling fan. The shadow is a method of light activity. And it's speaking to, it informs you about the trajectory of light. So this is layers of engineered light. The blinds are closed. The sun is the sun, speaking to the illusion, the sun is over the front portion of the apartment. Remember, the entity is maintaining a light source that's in no way characteristic or remotely resembling the sun. It's here till the end of the day and it's setting outside of this window. The light source, however, while the entity is stalking and maintaining a light source, it waits until later in the day to put the light source on this side of the building, except of course when I take a picture and then I walk out on this side, the entity will move it to this side. But what the entity does, it's engaging in what is an ongoing stationary presence, and this is negligible movement, and that's how it ends till it remains till the end of the day, taking hours to get to the opposite side of the same building. Under no circumstances this side of the building or this side of my building, 1806, is ever like going to create the pattern of the blinds. This is the same engineer light that you will see on my bedroom wall after 5 p.m. And this is what I mean by a plain admission. By plain, I mean PLAIN, not the plane admission, PLANE, when the people of the state are stalking in planes in the specific environment, because that's also an admission by the people that's going to be used against the people of the state. But understand the play on words there. That's a very plain, basic, obvious admission. Okay, there are layers of engineered light. You can also see the engineered light here. You see these lines. This is the blinds, and this is similar to what the entity is doing at nightfall in this upward trajectory. And the pattern of the blinds goes up onto the ceiling. It's occurring through what's supposed to be lights from the ground, I suppose. That's creating that. That's entirely demonic. Okay, absolutely impossible. Remember, impossible, unnatural is synonymous with what is demonic. And my shadow is appearing. Let me move around so you can see that. Okay, this is a molestation in the private space. The demons of FedEx are coming onto the grounds and they're monitoring in this environment. They're not ignorantly doing so either. FedEx knows that it's been documented. The demon possessed, it's almost like, honestly, I can't even get into the mind of a demon possessed psychopath that wants to stalk somebody. I'm not a stalker. The entity engages in conduct when it knows, but I don't even have to mention it. But I will reference, this is what Center for Better Life did. When I was speaking to the demons of 1818 number 4, crossing path engineer light moves across the surface. Center for Better, and I spoke about this by other third parties that were engaging the same. The next day, Center for Better Life, and this is what they did the day before yesterday, I believe. They arrived onto the property, and it's not a coincidence that they do so. When they know that I captured them, I documented them engaging in that identical conduct. The demon possessed, which they are aware of what's been documented about them, they will arrive and it's literally to its own demise. But this is what the entity engages in. They will arrive to participate, to be documented, engaging in that pattern of conduct, especially. And this is, I'm just letting you know about the mindset, the psychopath, that psychopathic mind state that the entity has when it's engaging in the pattern of conduct. And this is just informing you about what are demented individuals who are collectively acting as one. They're an entity. They're prosecuted as an entity. What one does as a part of the entity, the entire entity is doing. But I want to let you know, FedEx knows that it's documented, has arrived to engage in the pattern of conduct in the specific environment, already documented, not only FedEx, which represents the entity, but the entity which is engaged in monitoring at this venue. And let me just juxtapose it with, we can pick a video, any video, because the body of evidence already exists. At no point in time is there ever going to be a sun over Alvarado Gardens. Ever, because of what the entity already demonstrated. The center of the universe is apparently at Upland Public Library at 450 North Euclid Avenue, at the intersection of Euclid Avenue and Holt Boulevard, and also at the Fontana Lewis Library, remaining from the beginning to the end of the day. All of that you already know on its face is impossible to be the natural environment. No, that's not the sun, right? It also logically follows you cannot see the sun for the duration of the day and suggest that it's not remaining stationary. It just looks like it's remaining stationary while it's in constant move. No, that's not, and that's not even reasonable. That's not even a reasonable basis to try to contend. The entity is maintaining a light source stationary at Alvarado Gardens all day long, and it is not visible in any sky space over the Upland Public Library at all. The two are mutually exclusive. And FedEx arrives engaging in a pattern of conduct, coming to engage in the P.O.C., engaging in what is demonic conduct. This engineered light is what covers the ground that they're driving in, that is being created while they are pacing around in a vehicle. And they're representing a company. I just want to be clear. These logos, these companies that you see, it's not a coincidence that their employees are demon possessed and are monitoring. You are learning about the companies that you may unwittingly support. That is for your own. You make your own decisions in life. But there are plenty of that are, again, secretly. It's not, and it's, I mean, we're not supposed to know what, it's not really my concern what these companies, these CEOs and these employees, these presidents, these shareholders, what they personally believe, or, you know, but I just want to be clear. It tells you a lot by virtue of the, I want to be clear. There's not one exception to the Amazon Prime employee staff. They're all demons. They monitor as a part of what they do. That's built into what they're doing. It's a malicious system. You were never supposed to learn about it. It tells you a lot about the company itself. Okay, but it's with regard to justice, they're going to be placed on lists as group stalkers, monitoring American citizens, trying to make a buck, taking your money, wants to have a business amongst you while they're monitoring you, terrorizing you, sexually violating you, targeting you, terrorizing and tormenting you. That's the reality of what they're doing, and they seek to do it maliciously. They want to terrorize and monitor you in concert with the government that wants to keep it concealed, wants to threaten your life if you even get any inkling of it, and then try to document and enforce your rights. That's the same entity. That's the same criminal intent. Going under the name of FedEx, going under the name of Amazon Prime, going under the name of, you fill in whatever, you fill in the blank, because they're monitoring, and I guarantee I've documented them. All right, it is currently, by the way, 11:49 a.m. and this impossible light activity is on the ceiling, and then the entity places light on the floor in the living room as though anyone is fooled, while you've got demons like Kumli that keep their back to you while they're monitoring you, and then you're going to recall the environment that they're surrounded by. And this is what I mean. Those are psychopaths that are going to be subject to mental examinations, and they're going into mental facilities in the country. That's what you're doing. That's a delusional psychopath. The entity is stalking in helicopter day and night. The entity has a cartoon environment. The light source is over your head, and then they look the opposite direction. That's a stalker that refuses to cease engaging in the criminal act. That's an impermissible threat. The government is not going to, under any circumstances, communicate directly or impliedly, expressly or impliedly, that I'm going to continue to threaten your life and stalk you. And where it does, federal prosecution will respond to that. Okay, it will be commensurate to that threat to your life by a government that intends to do so. And that's exactly what LAPD and the people of the state have communicated on behalf of the whole entity. All right, this is P.O.C. inside of my bedroom. And outside of this window, hours later, the entity is going to be setting the light source. By the way, the light source, which is in the same sky space where the entity is keeping the moon now at night. Remember that. This is POC.